I'm Mike Sharma with Share Healthcare, and I'm here at the Homesteaders of America in Front Royal, Virginia on a beautiful Virginia day. It is beginning to cloud up a little bit more, but it's still nice and warm, and we're enjoying this wonderful afternoon with basically 5,000 people who came here to learn about homesteaders and the freedom that they might have in homesteading. I'm here with Ginger Shields, and Ginger, you've been in homesteading for a while, is that right?
That's correct. That's correct. The basis of our farm actually started as a homestead, and by God's good blessings and an incredible amount of luck and even more hard work, it has grown into a full-scale farm business for us. And so my husband and I are both now full-time farming with our family.
So you're the end result of the dream of every homesteader, being able to be truly self-sufficient, not only providing food for yourself, but for others enough that it allows you to be income self-sufficient.
Absolutely, yeah. We've now become completely solvent, no longer reliant on any outside income sources outside of our farm.
And you mentioned your farm was a homestead, and where is that?
So our farm is in northern central Florida, which is still in the most rural part of Florida, about an hour south of the Georgia border. We started in Jacksonville, Florida. We were living in the urban core of downtown Jacksonville, at that time with our 4 children. And we just really wanted a more connected life. We really just felt like something was missing in our life, and just this lack of fulfillment in our jobs and in our careers. And so we tried moving to the suburbs to try and fulfill that a little bit more. And it just was still this longing. And so we started looking for a little bit of land and a little bit of land. And then a little bit of land became a lot more land than what we really expected. But we started with 5 chickens and 2 pigs and 1 cow, and we would give away some eggs and give away some chickens and give away a couple of packs of pork chops here and there, and it just began to grow. People were really seeking the types of food that we were producing, and the end result was that we were healthier than we'd ever been. We were more connected in our family. We were getting to do the thing that we loved with the people that we loved. I wasn't sending my husband off to work a 9-to-5 job every day. I got to work with the guy that I still kind of liked a little bit, still married after all these years. And it would just really blossom into this beautiful, blessed thing that it's become.
So one interesting thing I picked up out of what you just said is that your generosity begot God's generosity to you, that you were just growing stuff for yourselves.
Yes.
Just to enjoy yourself more as a family and what food you're doing. Yes. But then you wanted to share that with others.
Yes.
And by doing that, it then led into the business that allows you all to be independent.
Everything that we did was 100% with just all of God's intent of what we did. Everything that we did, from the land that we found, we would have never found if it weren't for God's blessing. We would have never had the money to buy it if it weren't for God's blessing. We found out the day that we put our offer in that my husband had both lost all of his consulting contracts in 2008, and we found out we were pregnant with our 5th baby all on the same day. So we were like, do we take our life savings in this really uncertain time? And my husband's like, no, this is what God is calling us to do, and we're going to do it. And so we did. And he has just continued to bless us abundantly. And anytime we've ever needed anything, it's just, through hard work and perseverance and a whole lot of prayer, it's always come forth.
So one of the other things I'm picking up out of what you're saying is sometimes the biggest risk you take is the most secure you can become.
It doesn't always feel that way.
No.
It certainly doesn't.
That's why it's called a risk.
Well, and that's why it's called faith.
Right.
Because we can't see it. And so, but if you discern and you do your hard work and your approach it from a way that is this what we should be doing, or what's the right thing to do? What's the easy thing? What's the hard thing to do? And take that narrow path. And that's where the real reward lies.
We have some friends that are pastors in Fiji. They're Fijian natives, and it's both a husband and wife pastoring team. And she came and preached at our church one time, and the phrase, and this was maybe 12, 15 years ago, and everybody in our church still remembers the phrase she kept mentioning, is your blessing is on the other side of obedience. Toss your net on the other side of the boat. And you obeyed, so you had that blessing that you're now sharing in, and I assume your children have appreciated and enjoyed the blessings they had as the process that you went by.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, we have 6 beautiful kids, 3 girls, 3 boys, and
that's a pretty even match. Nobody ever does that. It's 2 and 5.
We got lucky. I mean, the boys asked for a tiebreaker, and the girls asked to tie it back up, and they both got what they wanted, so it's okay. But no, we've raised beautiful, hardworking children that know the value of work. They know the ethic of work. They know what self-sacrifice looks like. That, okay, I may be really, really tired, but these animals are reliant on me, and God gave us dominion. But that didn't absolve us over the responsibilities to care for it.
So what do you raise now?
So on our farm we raise pastured poultry. So we raise chickens and turkeys, and we have laying hens as well in the poultry spectrum. So we raise and process all of those ourselves. They never leave our farm. And then we have I think we have about 65 pastured pigs right now. That number is, since we're a closed herd, so we breed all of our own pigs. So that number can fluctuate quite vastly depending on the number of sows that we're breeding. And then we also have a beef and a dairy herd. So we literally are the multi-species farm. So we have about 12 milk cows and then about 25 to 30 beef cows, and again, the number can fluctuate.
How many families do you think you support then?
So we have over 2,500 families that we provide food to now in Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa, St. Augustine, and Gainesville.
And how did you develop that list? How did that happen?
Very organically, and I like to use the word organically intentionally because it really started with family and friends, and then our family and friends, by the testament of what it was we were doing and the quality of the products that we were providing them and the service and what they really wanted to support with the, voting with their dollars, that number continued to grow and to grow and to grow. And so it's just been a real blessing, a real godsend for us to just, rely on that to multiply. I would say one of the biggest reaches for us is probably Thanksgiving turkey, since we're headed into fall. It's sort of a great entry product for us because people are generally willing to spend a little bit more money to put a special turkey on the table and really support that type of farming that, for Thanksgiving. And so that's a great way for them to be like, oh wow, this turkey tastes so much different or so much better. If the turkey's this good, surely the chicken or the eggs or the beef or these things have to be better than what I'm getting at the store.
And what hesitancy have you seen with people, or do you even find the hesitancy in the market because people are telling people? So do you even hit that market suspicion or questions or controversy, or you just get beyond that because people already know about it because they've heard about it from their friends?
So one of the reasons that we became involved with APA, which is the American Pastured Poultry Producers Association, or as Joel likes to call it, APA-PAPA, which he's actually he's our honorary board member. Daniel,
Joel Salatin.
Yes, Joel Salatin is an honorary board member. It really began with him and with that mission of raising chickens on pasture. And Daniel's now also serves on the board with me at APA-PAPA. And one of the things that we found in that market is that a lot of the consumers are already there. They're already looking for the products that we were producing. And so another big part of that was just helping to connect consumers. And so with APA, we developed the Get Real Chicken, which is the consumer-facing platform for consumers to be able to connect with a farmer, because farmers aren't, by nature, we're not fantastic marketers. And so being able to connect the consumer to what it is that they're looking for was really kind of a missing piece for us.
Well, I appreciate you coming here. Now, with Share Healthcare, as I mentioned, our philosophical platforms are medical freedom, financial freedom, religious freedom. So what would you tell the folks that are watching this video or listening to it? What would you tell them about why you've done this as that relates to freedom? And why does it speak to you that way? What would you encourage them about?
One of the biggest things that my husband continued to tell me when we would have our conversations about where we were going or what we were going to do is that he said one of his biggest fears, in losing his consulting contract was to not be able to feed his family or to provide for his family. And so I think that realizing that spiritual obligation as a man to provide for his family also tied in to the freedom to be able to do so. And I know that it maybe seems a little bit...
Losing control prompted him to look to how can I have true control?
How can I have true control?
Rather than this fictitious control I thought I had.
Exactly. How can I have control over this part of my life that feels so vulnerable but still so important? Every single one of us eats at least 3 times a day. And so how do I regain that? And so that was something that really, it's like, as a wife, it's just like, my husband is carrying this burden, and how can I help him with this? And so, on the day it was day to move, we had chickens hatching in the incubator on the passenger seat of the moving truck. And so it was like, if we're doing this, we're going all in.
We are doing it as we travel.
Yeah, we absolutely, like you can't move the moving day because the chickens are hatching and we can't have these in the subdivision. So yeah, as a wife, that was just a kind of a heartbreaking thing to know that my husband was carrying that burden by himself, but also just knowing that was really where our independence and our freedom was going to come.
And it's interesting as we do all the various interviews, wherever we are, and we're asking others about how does what you're doing relate to freedom, and they tell us, it lets us see with Share Healthcare what people are yearning for also and why they join us. Because they want to have control, true control of their life, where before they had the fictitious control. Relying upon the healthcare exchange or the health insurance, and they thought they had control, but then stepping out in risk and beginning in generosity, just sharing other people's needs, then that begets the blessing, and they really acquired real control over their life, where before it was fictitious. And just want to appreciate you, Ginger Shields, and your husband for what you're doing of promoting freedom and helping others enjoy the fruits of your labor. Now, do you have a website or other ways that other people can contact you and your farm?
We sure do. So we're on all of the social media platforms at Pastured Life Farm.
Pastured Life Farm.
Yep, so Pastured Life. And then we're also, just our website is pasturedlife.com. We also, one of the other easier ways for folks to find us is at pasturedpoultry.com. So
pasturedpoultry.com and pasturelife.com. Well, thank you, Ginger. Appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's my pleasure.
Thank you.